So people are saying across the board, we need to drastically lower immigration. So this is what their page says. Immigration, imposing moratorium and deporting illegals. The issue, as they say, the primary aim of Canada's immigration policy should be to economically benefit Canadians and Canada as a whole. It should not be used to forcibly change the culture, character, and social fabric of our country. It should not put excessive financial burdens on the shoulders of Canadians in the pursuit of humanitarian goals. However, both the Liberals and Conservatives have supported an irresponsible and unsustainable increase in immigration levels, which has led to an explosion of social, economic, and cultural problems. They're using mass immigration as a policy tool to pander for votes among immigrant communities. 100% right. And everybody who lives here knows that there is an ongoing conflict between Indian immigrants and Sikh immigrants. They could both be from India, but they're different belief sets, right? And there's street fights. There's, people waving flags that nobody's ever heard of before. Flags from places that nobody's ever seen. People who are demanding a new country in India, a state of Khalistan, which most people have not heard of, but these are things that are now cultural problems in Canada that have been brought overseas through mass migration. That's what it's referring to. Everybody knows this is happening. So we'll skip the facts section there. We'll go down to the plan that they're proposing. Canada's immigration policy can benefit Canadians only if we welcome the right kind and the right number of immigrants and non-permanent residents. It should prioritize our economic interests and can be calibrated in a way that does not jeopardize Canadian values and the maintenance of our national identity. The People's Party, as a government, will impose a moratorium on new permanent residents for as many years as necessary until the housing crisis has cooled down. Substantially lower the number of permanent residents Canada accepts every year to between 100,000 and 150,000, depending on economic and other circumstances. Now, I would, personally, I would suggest even lower than that, because we've taken in enough immigrants for 20 years based on our previous numbers, which were around this. So if you're taking in 2 million people in 2 years, that's about 20 years worth of immigration. So I think we can halt it for somewhere around 10 to 15 years. They also want to reform the immigration system back to a point system and related programs to accept a larger proportion of economic immigrants with the right skills in high value added sectors, while substantially lowering the number of immigrants accepted under the family reunification program, including abolishing the program for parents and grandparents. 100% true. You are allowed to bring people over, elderly people who have no particular benefit to the country besides, wanting to be nice, and then we end up paying for their health care, and by we I mean any citizen of Canada pays for the health care of relatives who people who just got here. Doesn't make any sense. Tighten the selection process. That's increasing resources for our Secret Service and our federal police program, the Department of Immigration. They also want to deport illegal immigrants, including foreign temporary workers, foreign students, asylum seekers, visitors, and others who are staying in Canada after their visas have expired. Huge problem here. I know in the United States it's mostly illegal immigration that is the problem, but ours is people overstaying their visas far more than it is people just breaking into the country. So we need to get rid of that as well. Accept fewer foreign workers and students. Accept fewer refugees. Make birth tourism illegal. Withdraw from the Global Compact for Migration, which is take Canada out of the UN's Global Compact for Migration, signed by the Liberal government in 2018. And that's it. Now, birth tourism being illegal, that's a great idea. And, fewer refugees. We've done this a lot. It hasn't had a net benefit. We should stop involving ourselves in wars. We should stop doing things that cause refugees. And also there's the idea that these people aren't going to the proper places to gain refugee status, which is the next closest country where you're supposed to go instead of us taking them from across the world. And fewer foreign workers and students is a big issue because these are jobs for people who may have lost a job recently, elderly people who ran out of money, young people who are just getting to the job market for the first time. These things have completely been taken over by immigrants, and you can say that it's Canadians' fault. This is what the argument people use is Canadians don't want to do these jobs, or we don't have people to do these jobs. Completely untrue. Any person who looks for a job these days has trouble finding a job because people from other countries are hiring their own people and then bringing in more temporary foreign workers. So you'll see some companies like Tim Hortons face huge backlash because of the vast amount of temporary foreign workers they've taken in. But this is a great start. It's better than anything we have in place. And I think it's going to put pressure on the Conservative Party here, who is seemingly afraid to talk about it. They don't want to be mean. They don't want to rustle any feathers. But it's just normal. It's just normal to notice that there's way too many people here and the infrastructure and the system can't handle it. The housing market can't handle it.
Turn it up, Jordan.